So in this video I'm going to be finding an unknown angle. And at first glance it looks really easy, but then it gets more complicated. So the question, sine theta equals root 3 on 2. You've got to ask yourself, what's theta? Well, it's pretty simple because sine root 3 on 2, there it is. So the answer must be 60. And you can jump to that in one step. Not much of a video. The problem is the unit circle. There are actually an infinite number of answers to this question. Because yes, it could exist there, but it could also exist there. And it could also, if I move around a whole rotation and come back, it could also exist there and again there. And if I do another rotation, you get the picture. I can keep rotating, and those angles, so it's going to be something like 60 degrees, 120 degrees, keep rotating. I'll tell you why I'm rotating past those in a second. Come back here, so that's 420, 480, keep rotating. I could also do it in reverse and go to here. That's going to be 240, negative 240, and this is going to be negative 300. These are all possible answers to this question. So, let's go through this question again, but this is a silly question to ask. It actually doesn't make sense. To ask that question, whoever asks you the question has to put boundaries on it. This is a better question. Cos theta equals root 2 on 2. When theta is between 0 and 360. So, we can only have an angle value between 0 and 360. Just one rotation, and one rotation in the positive direction only. So let's do this question. Cos theta equals root 2 on 2. The answer is positive. So, if I use my cast method, I know that a cosine question is positive. So therefore, I know which quadrants my answer is going to be in. It's going to be in this quadrant and this quadrant. And that was step 1. Determine the quadrants. This is step 1. We know that a positive cosine answer is going to be in the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. Now, if I look here, I can calculate what my reference angle is going to be. Now, the reference angle for cosine root 2 on 2, cosine root 2 on 2, the reference angle is 45 degrees. Step 3, I'm going to draw those in. So, in the first quadrant, a 45 degree angle, and in the C quadrant, a 45 degree angle. Now finally, I just need to figure out how big each angle is. I start here, I need to go between 0 and 360. 45 degrees, that's one of my answers. Theta equals 45 degrees. 180, 270, another 45, that's 315. So this particular question has two answers. Cosine theta equals root 2 on 2 between 0 and 360, then theta can be 45 or 315. I'm going to alter the question just slightly before I go. Between 0 and 720, that's 2 rotations, but everything else is still the same. So there's going to be 4 answers here. 45, 315, 360 plus 45, that's 405, and then 2 whole rotations, 720 minus 45, that must be 675. When you do that, you're going to get 4 different answers depending on what that is. Okay, that's finding an unknown angle. You've got to step your way through it, but it's fairly straightforward once you find your 2 quadrants that it can exist in.